Today we get to graph. I know that's everybody's favorite. We're going to be graphing reciprocal functions, which is where you will have a variable on the bottom of a fraction today. Now, what this is going to cause, because you have a variable on the bottom, at some point, hypothetically, you could plug in a value that would make the bottom 0. In this case, it would just be x equals 0. However, we know that you can't divide by 0, so this is going to cause a vertical asymptote. Remember, an asymptote is where the line, or like the graph approaches, but it never crosses. You have a vertical asymptote in this case, and it's right here. Okay, and again, that vertical asymptote is found by taking the bottom of your function and setting it equal to 0. That comes into play here. Determine the value for which x for each function is not defined. What does that mean? Where is the asymptote? So, all you got to do is take this, set it equal to 0, and solve. Now, technically, x cannot equal 1, but that is where your asymptote would be. So for this one, it's a negative sign. X cannot equal negative 2/3. Okay? Now, the interesting thing about these is I didn't say this earlier. It does actually also have a horizontal asymptote, and I'll show you the value there that changes that for you. So here we have some actual graphs, and you can see the vertical asymptote is kind of floating around here somewhere, and the horizontal one is somewhere in there, give or take. So if I have 4 over x minus 3, that's going to help me find my vertical one. I can just do x minus 3 equals 0. So vertical asymptote is at x equals 3, or x cannot equals 3, whichever way you want to write that. Horizontal, you're going to love how to find this. Are you ready? It's the k value. Wait a minute, K? Hey, A, H, and K, the things that stretch, compress, move left, right, up, down, those are still in play. Actually, that's the H value. Right there, it moved it left and right. So the K value moves it up and down. This right here is your K value, that negative 2. So that means the horizontal asymptote. This time I'm going to put y, and it's just that number right there. Copy it down. That's all it is. Negative 2. Okay, and then domain and range. With the arrows, I can see that this is going to go down forever and up forever. That means my range can be all those values, and it goes left and right forever. So again, my domain can be all those values. The catch is the asymptotes. It's super easy though. Check it out. All I'm going to say is, okay, that means domain is all reals except x cannot equal the vertical asymptote, so 3. The range is also all reals except that y cannot equal negative 2. Okay, it looks super intimidating. All you have to do is really look at these two numbers and know how to plug them in. Hey, look, there's those A, H, and K values I mentioned. All right, I say graph, you say table. So grab a graphing calculator. We don't need to do these by hand anymore. Let's just plug them in. And unfortunately, I didn't think ahead. I don't already have this plugged in, so I just plugged in negative 2 divided by, I use parentheses to get my x plus 4 to make sure that all stays underneath, plus 1. When you hit graph, you are going to see a picture of it. If you've got a graphing calculator, remember you can hit second table. The table key is up behind graph, and it automatically plugs in that whole big table for you, which is fantastic. Here's my suggestion. First things first, step 1, graph the asymptotes. Okay, so in this case, I know that I have a vertical one at -4. And a horizontal one at 1. Again, I'm just reading those straight off the equation there. When I look at the graph, I can see that this graph is going to do something like this, give or take. So what I'm going to do, using my table, I'm just going to plug in some values. So at -5, it says it's at 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm probably going to maybe have to plug in a few others. So like at -6, it's at -2. So it kind of goes something like this. How about -4? It says error. Well, that's because it's the asymptote. Good job, calculator. -3 is at -1. -2 is at 0. -1 is at 0.3, 0.5, 0.6. So it looks something like that. Okay. It says state, domain, and range. That's so easy. Domain. Hey, by the way, I know up there I said it's all reals except that x cannot equal -4. You actually don't even have to write the all reals. You just have to write x cannot equal -4. Same with the range. I know that it's going to be all reals except for y can't equal 1. You can get away with just saying, hey, y can't equal 1. The end. Okay. We can even just do some transformations. So I can check these out. Looks like it is moved left 3. With that 8, that means it's stretched. And because there's no k value, it did not move up or down. This one is flipped because of the negative sign. And again, these are just the a, h, and k values that we've been studying literally all year. Flipped, stretched, and I need to get a T in there. There we go. Stretched. Looks like it goes down 2. And again, it goes opposite of what you think, so it goes left 4. Okay? And that's all we do for this one.